Good evening. It is Lisa Copeland, and I am so excited to be kicking off the 24-hour Global Facebook Summit. Now, for anybody who's been on Facebook the last, 2 or 3 days, you cannot have helped but seeing all of our experts posting and announcing that they're going to be an expert during this summit. So before I get into what I'm going to be talking about, which is mastery over mediocrity, I want to tell you a little bit about the summit and kind of how we pulled it together. So about 3.5 weeks ago, I went out to my community of experts, and I have got some of the greatest friends and the greatest experts in the world in my Rolodex. And I said, I want to put together a summit. And I want to be able to have it for free. I want it to go 24 hours straight. I want people from all over the world to be able to learn from some of the greatest experts in the world. And every single one of these people, these experts, these business strategists, these coaches, they answered the call immediately and they said, we're in. Little did we know what was going to happen in the world about 2 weeks ago. We had no idea. And what's crazy about this, y'all, is that so many times, this was almost, I had a dream about doing it. And I woke up in the morning and I did a Facebook Live and I put the challenge out there. And I said, something inside of me says, and if you all remember that Facebook, something inside of me says that we need to do a summit, a 24-hour business summit where 48 experts, it's actually 47 because I open it and I close it, but 47 experts would come together and they would share their time, their treasure, and their talent. Because I know that somebody out there needs to hear what every one of us has to say. And then fast forward 2 weeks ago, when everything fell apart in the world, when now all of a sudden we're dealing with a worldwide pandemic. We're dealing with a retraction in our world economy, in our states' economies, and in our American economy. We're dealing with friends and colleagues and loved ones that have been furloughed or that have lost their jobs. We're dealing with a pandemic that fear is rampant because you can't turn on the news and not hear something about COVID-19. You can't hear about our friends and our neighbors losing their jobs. Stimulus packages, whatever it is, that is what the news has been. But I want everybody to know who is tuned into this and that it's going to follow this summit all the way through, that we put this together prior to the events in our country and in our world. So I will tell you a lot of our topics, we have pivoted. We have pivoted from what we would talk about 3.5 weeks ago to what we would talk about today, tonight, all through the night, and into tomorrow morning and all the way until midnight Eastern tomorrow night, 11 o'clock Central. And it has been absolutely amazing coming together with all of my friends and the strategists and the business experts and coaches to put together this, the amount of time and effort that everybody has put into this, and I want to thank Michelle McLean and Patricia and Anthony and, for helping me coordinate all of this. I mean, putting together that many business experts, it's no easy task. I can tell you that right now. So I want to encourage all of you, share this out. Jump onto the sessions because this is us giving you everything we've got, giving you the best of what we've got, and also helping you, including ourselves, deal with what we've got going on in the world right now. But the thing I want to tell you that I fundamentally believe to the bottom of my soul is that this is such a time as this. And we have got two choices during this time that we are home or we're furloughed or we're laid off or we're working on a skeleton crew or whatever it may be. We can be a lion or we can be a lioness. Are you going to be a lion or a lioness? Or are you going to be the lamb? You don't want to be the lamb to the slaughter. You see, I fundamentally believe that during this time that we have got the opportunity to almost level the playing fields within our respective industries, within our respective businesses. And you ask me, what does that mean, leveling the playing field? Well, if you look on social media, which is where everybody's at right now, 90% of your competitors are spending 90% of their time on Netflix. All right. And the ones that are going to come out of this, the leaders, the business people, the business owners, the employees, whatever it may be, the ones that are going to come out of this stronger than ever are going to be the ones that use this time to sharpen their axes. See, there are so many tools available now online. I know Yale's got courses, Harvard's got courses. We've got the 24-hour summit. I'm seeing all kinds of business coaches and sales experts and all kinds of people. They're putting out all kinds of free content. What are you going to do with it? Because the thing that I can't guarantee you when this is going to end. I don't think anybody can. But what I will guarantee you is that this is going to end. We will push through this as a country and around the world, because that's what we do. We are resilient. We are entrepreneurs. We are Americans. We are Canadians. We have our friend Tina Alton from across the pond speaking, and we're going to come through this. But what are you going to do in that dash? And the dash in this case is the day we found out what was going on to the day that we get our lives back. What are we going to do in that time? Again, it's the great equalizer. So this can be the first thing that you can do to get ahead of the curve, ahead of your competitors. And you know what? It's not a dirty word during this time to talk about building a strategy, building a game plan for when we come out of this to come out more fierce, more ferocious than ever. That's okay. Because that's what we're going to need to do as a country and as a world, because we're going to have a lot of making up to do. All right. So with that being said, let's get into my topic. And so about 4 years ago, my best friend and I wrote a book, Crushing Mediocrity, 10 Ways to Rise Above the Status Quo. And we wrote the book just completely, absolutely believing that the reason that people don't get farther ahead in business and in life is because they are okay living in the middle. And so you say, okay, what does that have to do with me right now? Well, I'm going to tell you what it has to do with you right now. It's what I spoke about a little bit earlier. There's going to be people that just cruise through this. They're like, I'm just going to sit on the couch. I'm just going to, get my checks. I'm going to go on unemployment and I'm just going to coast. I'm going to take a vacation, a staycation, whatever. And this is not the time to do that. And people with a mediocre mindset, that's what they're going to do. The middle class. But I know that if you're on here at 11 o'clock at night, Central Time, and midnight Eastern Time, that you are serious. You are serious about your business, you're serious about your life, and you're serious about coming out of this thing better for it. Because there's a lot of people suffering right now. There's a lot of people that, our lives have been absolutely blown apart and disrupted. Absolutely 1,000,000%. So what are we going to do to come out of this stronger and better than ever? And that's what we're going to talk about. So it's mastery over mediocrity. I want everybody on here, and I know you're on here so that because you are ready to commit. You want to do more. You want to do better. You want to see your businesses come back out stronger. You want to make up for lost ground. My goodness, all of us are losing ground. I'm losing ground by the minute on everything. And so is 99% of the people in this country. But if I hear one more time, well, everybody's in this together, so I'll just go ahead and just wait and see what happens. Well, we are in this together. I agree with that statement. We are in this together. But what I don't agree with is taking the mental stance of saying, let's just see what happens. Let's just see, let's just see and wait. Let me just go ahead and just, continue to get my checks and do all of that. And then someday, somehow, I'll pull myself up off the couch. I'll disconnect Netflix and then I'm going to get back in the game. I don't want to see you do that. And again, we put together this summit way before that ever happened. So what are the 3 things that you need to do? And I'm going to give you 3 takeaways tonight. And I hope that you're following this because we're going to like tell you who the next speaker is and how to connect with them. But I hope you take notes, because the first thing that you have got to do to master mediocrity, and there's no better time than this to do it, is you have got to define your underlying purpose. I've written 2 books, and both books open up with talking about purpose. Talking about purpose, and it's so relevant to me now more than ever. So I ask people, what would you do if you could have any job in the world, if you could do anything in the world because money was not an issue? What would it be? And I have people tell me all kinds of things. Oh my gosh, I would build orphanages, or I would have an animal rescue or, all kinds of things. Because see, those are the things that you would do if money didn't matter. And I think about the people right now that are serving on our front lines, our doctors, our nurses. Heck, how about, our firefighters, our police officers? How about the what I want to call the brave men and women at the grocery store? My goodness, I feel like they're in more of a firing line. At my grocery store here in Cedar Park, Texas, the police are there. You have to stand in line. They only let a certain amount of people in every single day, at a time. And then, so if 3 leave, 3 can go in, that type deal. I think there's a maximum of 100 people in the store. But they have our police department there because people are breaking out in fear. They're breaking out in riots. They're fighting over toilet paper. I mean, it's crazy. It is crazy what this has done to people and the fear that it has incited. But I will tell you, the most purpose-driven people, and I speak all over the world, and the things, and this is one of my slides, the most purpose-driven people in the world are our first responders, our teachers, our nurses and doctors, our firefighters, our police officers. And I believe, 99% of them, they don't do it for the money and they don't do it for the combat pay. They do it because they fundamentally believe that they were born and put on planet Earth to protect and serve. I mean, do you guys and gals agree with that? And I'm not going to be answering comments right now because I really want to teach. And so I will go back tomorrow morning and I will answer some of your comments. Keep them coming in, please. I'm very interested to see what you have to say, but I don't want to eat up my 30 minutes with going into comments. So we think about people that are in purpose-driven jobs, okay? And everybody, you fundamentally have to believe that what you do matters every single day. Because if you don't believe that, then you're going to have a hard time finding your purpose. And your purpose right now is going to help you through some very dark days. You might have a purpose of being a servant. And so now you're able to reach out to people that you never had time to reach out to before, that you're going to be able to serve, and you're going to be able to serve people that maybe have lost their jobs. Every one of our experts, we want to serve. And that's why, they've all come together. They're all using their very best content. Many of them have written books. Many of them get paid tens and thousands of dollars to speak on the stage. Many of them have been on national television. I only got the best of the best. Let's be real. But they have a heart to serve. You see, that's our purpose. Our purpose is to serve. Is your purpose to serve? Is your purpose to teach? Is your purpose to encourage? I want to encourage you to find that underlying purpose, because that is what you're going to rely on when you're sitting at home and you're by yourself and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know how many more days I can do this. And then I want you to revert to, but you know what? The people out there serving on our front lines, they are living and walking and breathing their underlying purpose every single day. And that's to serve and protect. And so if you can get your mind around what is going to be your underlying purpose, maybe it's just through this. Maybe it's just through this pandemic. Okay. So right now you think, okay, what is my underlying purpose going to be? It's going to be to encourage people. It's going to be to train people. It's going to be to serve people. It's going to be to, just start dialing for dollars and calling people you haven't talked to in a long time and just saying, hey, I'm thinking about you. So that's one of the 3 things I want to challenge you with tonight is I want you to figure out, just during such a time as this, that what will your underlying purpose be? Will it be to encourage? Will it be to serve? Or will it to be to teach? Or anything else? Or you know what? A purpose is compassion. There are a lot of people out there right now. My gosh, I see it on Facebook, that they're terrified, they're scared. And I've had some friends personally that I've seen their Facebook posts, and I haven't spoken to them in quite a while, but I've picked up the phone and called them and I said, hey, I'm just checking in on you. Are you okay? What's going on? Right? That would be, the purpose is to encourage and to serve. And so that's number 1, is that I want to encourage you during this time is to define your underlying purpose. And maybe that's just through this pandemic. But that being said, you might really, really walk into it, and you might really, really realize that that is what you were built and born to do. And then you're going to be able to take that piece back to your job. I mean, I've got friends and I know people right now that are saying, you know what? this has really awakened me. This has really opened my eyes. I think maybe I'm going to do something different. I think maybe I'm going to go and be XYZ, because I realized that, the rug got pulled out from under me so quickly. And, I don't really think I loved what I was doing. And so people are using this time. I have one friend who's actually taking online nursing courses, and she thinks that she's thinking about potentially enrolling in nursing school. And this person's in the automotive industry. But she says, it doesn't serve me well, So anyways, again, this time has just absolutely been and is going to be a great equalizer, because all of us are in the same boat. We're all afraid. We're all scared. We all don't know when this thing's going to end. I don't know anybody who has not been financially affected by this. Nobody. I can't even imagine. Unless, of course, you own stock in Zoom. Yeah, I wish I did, because then we'd all be rich right now, right? All right, so that's number one. Number two is you've got to remain teachable. Now, what do I mean by that? And that was chapter 2 in our book, Crushing Mediocrity, is to remain teachable. Because see, so many of us, we know it all. We just know it all. And we're not willing to new things and to open our minds to new things. And let's be real. There's some of you out there that don't know how to use video, that you don't know how to use Zoom. You don't know how to conduct a virtual meeting. You don't know because you are technology challenged, because you've been doing the same thing over and over again, rinse and repeat, and you haven't taken the time to slow down and learn the world of 2020. And so I'm super excited, because one of our experts is Kim and Mike Barnes, and they are media experts. And you want to get on that one for sure. If video is a challenge for you, then you want to spend some time with Kim and Mike Barnes, because they will teach you how to work and survive and thrive in the virtual video world. I did a Facebook Live today earlier, and I talked to my expert panel, and I said, do you all believe that most likely a lot of what we're doing now, do you think it'll stick when everything goes back to normal? And I say normal lightly, because I think we're going to have a new normal in this country. I don't think it's going to be as loosey-goosey as it was before. But, will businesses learn that, hey, you know what, maybe meetings, the majority of the meetings can be conducted over video. Maybe we can cut our travel budgets a little bit. Sorry, travel industry. Maybe now we can be of better service to our clients, because I'm a car dealer, right? And so now, we've gotten used to negotiating over Zoom and negotiating over Skype or over StreamYard, which is what I use. And so now, I feel like we're going to get into a groove that video is going to become more and more important, and doing business virtually, because now we were forced to do it, but more importantly, we're going to learn how to do it. And I think that that's really what has stopped a lot of business professionals and a lot of companies from doing it, because in their mind, they're like, how in the heck do we take our workforce remote? How would we do that? The last people in the world to come to the party has been the automotive industry. Sorry, all my auto friends out there, but it's true. There are some really, really great ones out there that are just really gung-ho, and like our good friend Brian Benstock and Paragon Honda. I mean, he was doing this stuff 10 years ago. But, that industry has been very late to the party when it comes to technology and when it comes to streamlining processes, because, hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? But think about all the things now that are going through video. Telemed, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but my doctor doesn't want to see me right now. He's like, nope, you could just dial up telemed, and, and unless you've got, COVID or something and you have to go to the hospital, I mean, they're just going to talk to you just like this. Our CPAs, our lawyers. I mean, there's just no reason for a lot of the meetings, y'all, that we go and take, and we get in our car and we drive and we go and we do, that we can't do it just like this. But you've got to learn how to communicate on camera, because I've met so many people that are so great in person and gregarious and whatever, and then you see them on a Zoom or whatever, and they just lose their mojo. And it's fear, it's lack of training, it's not understanding, how to talk to a camera and how to, just be yourself on camera and to do a sales presentation. So I think over the next month or 2 months or however long it'll take, because nobody knows, that if you sharpen those skills, if you sharpen the axe, if you take advantage of all of the free content that not only we're putting out, but experts all over the world are putting out. Because everybody wants to feel like that they've done something to help their friends and their colleagues and everybody that's suffering during this time. So I want to encourage you to remain teachable, be open to new things. And I really, really believe that 90% of the world needs to understand the power of social media, the power of live video, the power of just being able to do what we're doing right here, right now. Goodness knows how many people will see this video by the time it circulates. And if I haven't said yet, share it out, share it out, share it out, right? Who knows? But I have people call me and write to me all the time. And they say, my gosh, I watched a video of you from a year ago. And the things you said to me, oh, it was great. I don't even know these people. So what does video do for us when we're remaining teachable, when we are giving our knowledge, right? You don't just want to bring in knowledge, okay, and just, consume it all, but every single one of you has so much to give. So share it, encourage it, remain teachable. See, I'm watching my clock up here in the corner because I told every one of the business experts, I'm like, you do not go over that 30 minutes or you're going to be in trouble. And then number 3, and this is easier said than done right now, but we wrote about this in the book, and it's repurpose your fear. You see, danger is real and fear is a choice. Now, up until 2.5 weeks ago, I would speak on that all over the place. And I'd say, you know what? Psychology Today magazine did a study, and 90% of what we fear never happens. So we lay in bed thinking about our house burning down. It's probably not going to happen, but it ties us up inside. What's going on in the world today, we need to be afraid. Afraid to go to the grocery store, afraid to touch a surface. Like, you ought to see me getting gas. I'm like wrapping stuff around it and putting it in my car and then whatever. I mean, because none of us know. So the unknown absolutely will grapple us with fear. And so you notice I'm saying to repurpose the fear. So when you are feeling just loaded with anxiety, and what is today? I'm like, what day is it? I'm telling you, I'm losing track. A couple of days ago, I was watching the news. I'm kind of a Fox News junkie. I was watching the news, and then I get my Fox News alerts on my phone, and then this and that. And I was just sitting up here in my studio, and I'm like, I can't take it anymore. I literally got up, y'all, went and put on my workout clothes, and then headed to the trail by my house. And I'm just like, I'm not watching any more of this today. See, I was repurposing my fear, because if you sit and watch this stuff 24/7, guys and gals, remember a news cycle, right? Their whole job is to keep pumping news into us 24/7, 24/7. In the old days, you would watch the news at 6 o'clock, you'd watch it at 10 o'clock, 6 and 10 o'clock news. And that would be it. And then life would go on, and we'd watch the Brady Bunch or I Love Lucy or whatever it was. And you only got 2 bad news cycles. Today, it is on demand. It is constant. We have alerts on our phone, and hey, I'm one of them. I'm here to tell you I'm the worst. And so I had to repurpose my fear. So I repurposed my fear in something that, number 1, would get my mind off of it. Number 2, that was good for my body. Number 3, that was just good for my brain and my spirit. And so, we cannot bask in this fear, because I truly believe that anxiety and depression and all of those things that so many people suffer with, that they are going to go through the roof during times like this. They just are. And so we're going to have to take control of what we consume, both from food, since we're all stuck in the house, and what we let our minds consume. I would rather see you eat a whole pack of cookies than sit and consume a 24/7 news cycle. Because guys and gals, it's bad news, okay? I mean, we know a lot of things, and I don't claim to be an expert, but what I do know that I know is that we're going to see more, since there's been additional testing on COVID, that we're going to see more positive cases. We're going to see a higher death toll. Although I listened to the doctor today, Dr. Fayed or Fahad. He did an interview today on YouTube. He is the global specialist for infectious disease for 6 presidents, including President Trump. And, he said, hey, here is the reality. The flu is 0.0001%, like one of a death rate. This one is about 1%. Okay. So again, I don't want anybody to die, but I'm just asking you to don't be watching the memes and, people sending me videos that who knows where they came from, right? You've got to decide who the experts are. And then you need to go get the answers to what you're wondering about. And then you need to walk away. Okay. You need to walk away. You've got to repurpose that fear because not only if you just bask yourself in that 24/7 news cycle, it just doesn't go away. And it's eating away at your heart, your soul, your spirit, your mind, and fear is consuming you. And I know it is because I'm talking to people all around the country, friends that are texting and just saying, I don't know what to do with this. I'm scared to send my kids back to school. And so you've got to repurpose the fear because the fear is real. And I'm not here to tell you anything, but I just wanted to share with y'all before I jump off. This was my license plate 4 years ago, and it says, "Fear not." And for those of you that believe in the Bible, which I do, Jesus talks about, and it depends on which version it is, but but fear not, 365 times, and that's what he says in the Bible. More than anything else is to fear not. And so I chose 4 years ago when I was making a big transition myself that I would fear not. One of our speakers, in fact, one of our experts is Jan Goss Gibson. And I was at her house when she and I really came up with that for me. And I went and bought that license plate. I went and bought it before I even had a car because I still owned 500 cars. I was a car dealer. But I bought it for when I wanted it because I knew I wanted to go out and live a different life with, and just actually have my life back. So I just want to leave you with this because I'm at 27 minutes and I'm telling you, I threatened everybody's life if they go over. But I want to leave you with, if you guys can see this, is to fear not, because that is the promise that that I believe that God gives us, that we need to leave the fear and the worry to him, and we need to turn it over, or you need to turn it over to a higher power for yourself, whatever your higher power is, because if you don't, it will absolutely consume you. And what I don't want to see is in a month now or 2 months from now, that during this time, this reckoning, this time that is an equalizer, that I want to see you use it to come out of this stronger and better. And what I don't want to see you do is have it paralyze you because you can't get off the couch because you're watching CNN or MSNBC or Fox News 24/7 and letting that loop play in your mind over and over and over again. You've got to separate from it. You've got to, put your mind on other things. And again, I want every one of you to come out better for it. I got 1.5 minutes left. So I want to encourage you. The next speaker up is one of my best friends in the world. He's my little brother, Frank Lopes. He is going to take you through 7 steps. He's got a new book coming out, and he has written, and he is going to share with you what are the 7 steps to step through this. And that's what we want to do over the next 24 hours. We want to give you encouragement. We want to let you know that we're here. I'm here. You all who's on my stream, you absolutely know how to find me. But I want you absolutely 100% to know that the sun will come up in the morning, and whatever you do during this break, this reckoning, this whatever someday that we're going to look back in the history books and call it, who knows at this point, but what I don't believe that it'll be called is Armageddon. Okay. We're not there. We're going to push through this, and you're going to push through this. And someone said, I wish I had a bag of cookies right now. Okay, I am bringing out the cookies in people. So anyways, I love you. Thank you so much for tuning into our global summit. Up next is Frank Lopes. If you are in when you saw my broadcast, I have tagged Frank Lopes in this so that you can jump right onto his page and you can catch him next. And you are going to understand by the time Frank is done what the power of 7 means. I love you. Stay strong, stay safe. And I'm here for you. And I will be closing the summit tomorrow night, same time, same bat channel. So I get to see you again. Thank you. Bye-bye.